Years had passed since Ikemba's ruthless reign began. The once prosperous kingdom of Nuri lay in ruins, its people broken and suffering under the weight of tyranny. Yet, amidst the despair, hope began to flicker once more. In a distant village, the young prince, now a seasoned warrior, prepared to return and reclaim his rightful place on the throne. The prince, now known as Chinedu, had spent years training and honing his skills. He had forged alliances with neighboring kingdoms, gathering support for his cause. His loyal allies, men and women who had suffered under Ikemba's rule, were ready to fight for justice. As they gathered around a campfire, Chinedu addressed them, his voice filled with determination. "Tonight we begin our journey back to Nri," he declared, his eyes burning with resolve. "We fight not only for our kingdom, but for our families, our friends, and our future. Ikemba's reign of terror ends now." The group cheered, their spirits lifted by Chinedu's words. They spent the next few days preparing for the journey, gathering weapons, supplies, and making final plans. The tension was palpable, but so was the hope. They knew the risks, but they were ready to face them for the chance to reclaim their home. As the moon hung high in the night sky, casting an ethereal glow over the land, Chinedu and his allies set out for Nri. They moved silently through the dense forest, their footsteps muffled by the thick underbrush. Chinedu led the way, his knowledge of the kingdom's secret passages guiding them safely through the treacherous terrain. As they approached the borders of Nri, they encountered the first of many challenges. Ikemba's guards patrolled the perimeter, their eyes sharp and their weapons at the ready. Chinedu signaled for his group to halt, crouching low behind a cluster of bushes. He observed the guards' movements, formulating a plan. "We need to create a diversion," he whispered to his second-in-command, a formidable warrior named Adana. "We can't risk an open confrontation here." Adana nodded and relayed the plan to the others. Two of their most agile fighters would create a distraction, drawing the guards away from the main group. With stealth and precision, the diversion team moved into position. Moments later, the sound of clashing metal and shouted commands filled the air as the guards were lured away from their posts. Chinedu led the rest of the group through the now unguarded passage, their hearts pounding with anticipation. They navigated the labyrinthine tunnels beneath the kingdom, emerging within the palace grounds. The familiar sights and sounds of Nuri filled Chinedu with a mix of nostalgia and sorrow. The time for reflection was short, however, as the final confrontation loomed ahead. The palace, once a symbol of peace and prosperity, had become a fortress of fear under Ikemba's rule. Chinedu and his allies moved swiftly through the corridors, their goal clear: to rescue Omalicha and gather support from within the palace walls. As they approached Omalicha's chambers, Chinedu felt a surge of emotion. He hadn't seen his sister in years, and he prayed she was safe. Breaking through the guards, Chinedu entered Omalicha's chambers. She was there, looking weary and worn, yet still radiating the grace that had captivated so many. Her eyes widened in disbelief as she recognized her brother. "Chinedu?" she whispered, tears filling her eyes. "Yes, it's me," he replied, embracing her tightly. "I'm here to take you away from this nightmare." Omalicha sobbed with relief, clinging to her brother. "I've prayed for this day. Ikemba's cruelty knows no bounds. The people suffer every day. We will end his tyranny," Chinedu assured her. "But first, we need your help. We must rally the palace guards who are still loyal to our family." With Omalicha's guidance, they moved through the palace, discreetly contacting those who had remained loyal. Word spread quickly, and soon a small but determined group had gathered. They were ready to stand against Ikemba and fight for their kingdom. The final confrontation was set to take place in the Grand Hall, the very heart of the palace. Chinedu and his allies prepared for battle, their hearts heavy with the knowledge of what lay ahead. The Grand Hall, once a place of celebration and unity, now echoed with the tension of impending conflict. As Chinedu entered the hall, Ikemba awaited him, seated on the ornate throne he had usurped. His eyes narrowed as he saw the prince. "So the lost prince returns," Ikemba sneered. "Do you truly believe you can defeat me?" Chinedu stepped forward, his voice steady and filled with conviction. "I don't just believe it, Ikemba. I know it. Your reign of terror ends today." With a roar, the battle began. Ikemba's loyalists clashed with Chinedu's allies, the sound of metal against metal filling the air. Chinedu fought his way through the chaos, his eyes locked on Ikemba. The two warriors met in the center of the hall, their swords clashing with a force that sent sparks flying. The duel between Chinedu and Ikemba was fierce and relentless. Both men were skilled fighters, their movements fluid and precise. The grand hall became a blur of motion as they traded blows, each strike resonating with the weight of their shared history and the fate of the kingdom. Ikemba fought with a ferocity born of desperation, his strikes wild and powerful. Chinedu, on the other hand, fought with a calm determination, his movements calculated and deliberate. The battle raged on, neither willing to give an inch. As the fight continued, Chinedu began to gain the upper hand. His years of training and preparation had honed his skills to perfection. With a final decisive strike, he disarmed Ikemba, sending his sword clattering to the ground. Ikemba fell to his knees, his eyes filled with rage and disbelief. "This isn't over," he snarled. "You may have won this battle, but you will never rule this kingdom." Chinedu stood over him, his sword raised. "Your reign of terror ends now," he declared, his voice ringing through the hall. With a swift, powerful strike, Chinedu ended Ikemba's life. The hall fell silent as the realization of their victory set in. The people of Nri had been freed from the tyrant's grasp. With Ikemba's defeat, the kingdom of Nri began to heal. Chinedu was crowned the rightful king, with Omalicha by his side. The people celebrated their newfound freedom, their hearts filled with hope for a brighter future. Chinedu's first decree as king was to abolish the oppressive taxes and restore fairness and justice to the kingdom. The fields that had once lain fallow were now cultivated with care, and the marketplace buzzed with activity once more. The people of Nri, once broken and afraid, now stood tall, united by their shared resilience and hope. Under Chinedu's rule, the kingdom of Nri flourished. He implemented fair and just policies, ensuring that everyone, regardless of their status, was treated with respect and dignity. The bonds of community were restored, and the people worked together to rebuild their homes and their lives. Omalicha, now free from her gilded cage, became a beloved figure in the kingdom. She used her position to advocate for the rights of women and children, ensuring that they were protected and valued. Her grace and kindness became a beacon of hope for the people, inspiring them to strive for a better future. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed today's folktale, please give it a thumbs up, share with friends, and subscribe for more captivating stories. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Thanks for your support, and share your thoughts in the comments below.